Test. Test. 1, 2. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. The governor is en route to campus, so as soon as he arrives, we will begin the program very shortly. Good morning, everyone. The program will begin in about 2 minutes. All of our guests have arrived. Please kindly mute your devices, and we will begin in about 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
What a great looking group out here today. Excellent. Well, I am Dr. Lewis Whiteside, and I'm the Vice President for Research. I'm delighted to serve as the presider of today's historic event. Before we move on to the program, I would like to acknowledge guests who are with us and establish protocol. So to Governor Henry McMaster, elected officials, Douglas Gant, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, our Board of Trustees, President, retired Colonel Alexander Conyers, fellow cabinet members, deans, faculty, staff, students, alumni, guests, friends, and supporters here in person and watching online, I will say good morning. As we prepare to celebrate our Founders Day on Sunday, March the 2nd, we will commemorate 129 years of excellence in research, education, and public service. This landmark achievement joins a long list of milestones that perpetuate our legacy as a driver of economic development, producer of global leaders, and innovator in transformational and sustainable solutions to improve the quality of life and standard of living for all South Carolinians. Now I'm pleased to invite to the podium Mr. Douglas Gant, a 1984 graduate of this great institution, the chairman of our Board of Trustees, to give a welcome, followed by Dr. Frederick Evans, our provost, to give the occasion.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day and an amazing time to be a Bulldog. On behalf of my distinguished colleagues, the Board of Trustees, we say welcome. To our esteemed guests and all the elected officials in the local city and state government, to our faculty, staff, graduates, the entire universe that loves South Carolina State University, I say again, welcome. I couldn't miss this opportunity to at least acknowledge the governor again. Because you see, not only are we making history today, we're sitting with a governor that is making history, because he will be at the end of his tenure, he will be the longest serving governor the state of South Carolina ever had. So we want to say thank you for supporting us. As we gather here, we come together with a shared purpose and a common goal to celebrate this historic announcement of the Carnegie classification of R2 designation. Now, I'm confident that the information and discussion shared here today will further amplify why South Carolina State serves as a vital and premier university within the state of South Carolina. Now, as we embark on this journey, together, let's remember the importance of collaboration and mutual respect. By working together and learning from one another, we can achieve great things and make a positive impact on the state of South Carolina and the world. Now, life is nothing but a big classroom, unlike any other classroom you have ever entered, because there's no dress rehearsal. In this classroom, you are the teacher and the student. So I ask that we teach ourselves well. Now, I want to close by sharing a few words of the governor's favorite song. Now, I realize it can be daunting sometimes to address elected officials with a little humor and fun. But those of you who know me know I can't resist this opportunity. And the reason why is I believe his favorite song reflects what this university has experienced during his tenure. Now, to know this favorite song, you got to understand the very first line of this song has a double entendre. So you got to pay attention when I say just a few verses. I won't take long because I cannot sing. The governor's favorite song is A Matter of Fact by Buffalo Springfield. And the reason why I want to do this today is because I had the privilege to attend his first inauguration, but I wasn't there at the second one. And the crowd was screaming and hollering and excited about his next term. And I liked the way he silenced the crowd. You know, most people come in and they kind of do that and give the motion, and since he's our leader, you know, most people just obey. But he didn't. He started with his favorite song. Now again, you gotta understand the double entendre, okay? So this is how the song starts. There's something happening here. And what that is isn't exactly clear. Now stay with me. There's a man over there with the purse strings, and they say he cares. They tell me that he has a plan to help us do well. I think it's time we stop, individuals, and say to ourselves, what's that sound? I think I hear buildings going up and all around. Now, there are many of you who will probably ask and say, well, you know, hey, look, if you don't pay attention to the double entendre, you're going to miss this. So I'm going to get to the end. One of the lines in that song says, there are battle lines being drawn. But here's the point I want to make. But nobody's right if everybody's wrong. So once again, I welcome all of you and look and hope you have and enjoy this historic day.
Again, good morning. Good morning, Governor McMasters, Chairman Douglas Gant, and Vice Chair Dr. Macy Smith of the South Carolina State University Board of Trustees, to the South Carolina State University Board of Trustees, to South Carolina State University President, President Alex Conyers, to President Conyers' cabinet, to my colleagues here at the university, all faculty and staff, students, alumni, retired employees, elected officials, visitors and friends, to the esteemed members of the press and honored guests, and I must say to my friends to the South Carolina Department of Commerce, once again, good morning and welcome to SC State University. Allow me to pause just for a few minutes to recognize individuals in the academy who lead, teach, and guide our students towards the required research to produce terminal degrees here at South Carolina State University in our Doctor of Education program. the Dean of the College of Graduate and Professional Studies, Dr. Lakeisha Tucker. The Dean of the College of Education, Humanities, and Social Sciences, Dr. M. Evelyn Fields. To the Chairman of the Department of Educational Leadership, Dr. Percy Mack. And to the faculty of the Department of Educational Leadership, please stand to be recognized. And now to the task in which I've been charged to bring the occasion. We're gathered here today at South Carolina State University to celebrate a new chapter in our ongoing journey of innovation, excellence, and community. This press conference marks an exciting moment as we share the latest developments, achievements, and initiatives that will shape the future of South Carolina State University and our impact on the state of South Carolina. R2 Carnegie classification. We are committed to fostering an environment of growth, collaborations, and empowerment for all who are part of our vibrant university community. That's all citizens in the state of South Carolina and the nation. We look forward to discussing the process we have made, the challenges ahead, and the endless possibility we are working towards. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to your engagement today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the occasion.
So next, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce and present our 13th president of South Carolina State University, retired Colonel Alexander Conyers. An SC State graduate himself, Conyers has a long history with the university, also having served as interim president, acting president, and vice president for strategic alliances and initiatives prior to his official appointment to his current role. Under his leadership, the university has seen significant growth in record time. The university has experienced a 32% in enrollment, which is the tops in our state. He has secured the largest state appropriations in the history of the university and led a $1.25 million fundraising campaign to commemorate our 125th anniversary, which raised $2.5 million in 6 months. Currently, Currently, the university has launched the first ever capital campaign named The Power of SC State, a capital campaign to elevate excellence, as well as started more than $150 million in major construction and renovations. President Conyers is married to First Lady Agatha Conyers, and they have 2 children, Ace and Allie. To give perspective on this historic accomplishment, I present our president, Alexander Conyers.
Good morning. Wow, what a beautiful day it is on the beautiful campus of South Carolina State University. I know we've recognized some VIP elected officials, but I wanted to take the opportunity to recognize Representative Gilda Cobb-Hunter, who is here. I believe we also have South Carolina Secretary of Commerce, Mr. Lightsey, I believe he's here, Harry Lightsey. And then I want to recognize a former SC State University president whose shoulders I stand upon, Dr. Leroy Davis. Thank you for being here, sir. Good morning, Governor McMaster, Chairman Gant, other board members, faculty, staff, students, and friends, and our other research partners. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate the elevation of South Carolina State University. I want to especially thank the governor of this great state for being here for this momentous occasion. Governor McMaster, your presence here today underscores the significance of this milestone for South Carolina State University and the state of South Carolina. Thanks also for your personal commitment, which ensured that South Carolina State University was part of the strategic partnership with the Patel-Savannah River Alliance, which includes the University of South Carolina, Clemson, the University of Georgia, and Georgia Tech. Thanks also for ensuring our partnership that South Carolina State University shares with South Carolina Nexus in collaboration with the Department of Commerce. Thank you. This is a historic day for South Carolina State University. Today, we proudly announce that South Carolina State has officially been designated as a Carnegie Research II institution. Making us the only R2 university in the state of South Carolina. This is a defining moment in our university's history, one that reflects our steadfast commitment to academic excellence, innovation, and impactful research. This research includes research into education, transportation, energy, safety, agriculture, cancer, just to name a few. Achieving R2 status is no small feat. In fact, we are one of only 139 institutions from more than 3,000 colleges and universities across the country who were evaluated for this designation. This is a testament to the dedication of our faculty, the hard work of our students, and the unwavering support of our alumni, staff, and community partners. This designation places South Carolina State among the nation's top-tiered research institutions, expanding our opportunities for federal funding, partnerships, and groundbreaking discoveries that will benefit not only our university, but the entire state of South Carolina and beyond. As an R2 institution, we embrace the responsibility to lead in research, to foster innovation, and to provide solutions to the pressing challenges facing our state and country. This milestone strengthens our mission as a land-grant public university in South Carolina, ensuring that we continue to create pathways of opportunity and excellence for generations to come. To everyone who played a role in this achievement, thank you. Your passion, persistence, and belief in South Carolina State have made this possible. Today, we celebrate, but tomorrow, we continue the work of building on this success, driving forward with even greater ambition and purpose. South Carolina State University is on the move, but the best is yet to come. Onwards and upwards. Thank you very much.
So now it's time for the unveiling. Provost and Chair, y'all at the other one. So everyone's ready? All my people in place? All right, so we're gonna count down, okay? We were R3 first, then R2. Can y'all see R1? Unveil. Pull it off, yes. Now I get an opportunity to introduce our great governor of South Carolina. Now, the chairman kind of stole some of my thunder with his comments, but I'm gonna repeat them anyway. So, Governor Henry McMaster was sworn in as governor in January 2017. He was elected to a full term as governor in November 2018 and re-elected in November 22. Under his leadership, we've experienced a strong and vibrant South Carolina economy, announcing more than 90,000 new jobs and over $39.1 billion in new capital investment in the state. Under his leadership, the state has made transformative investments in the classroom by expanding full-day four-year-old kindergarten, raising K-12 teacher pay, and placing a school resource officer in every school. Colleges and universities are becoming more accessible and affordable due to the governor's tuition freeze and by doubling his funding of needs-based financial aid for in-state students. Personally, South Carolina State has record investments by the state through increased operational appropriations, retention scholarships for our students, as well as $150 million in funding for new construction and renovations. For research, Governor McMaster included SC State in the Patel Project with Savannah River National Laboratory, and to date has provided more than $8 million toward that effort. This helped contribute to our new designation. Governor McMaster served on the Palmetto Health Foundation Board and is the recipient of the Order of the Palmetto, the state's highest civilian honor awarded to citizens of South Carolina for extraordinary lifetime service and achievements of national and statewide significance. He was previously named Public Servant of the Year by the Sierra Club and National Law Enforcement Officer of the Year by the Humane Society of the United States. Governor McMaster and his wife, Peggy, have 2 adult children and 2 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming the 117th Governor of the great state of South Carolina, Henry McMaster.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Doctor, I appreciate that. The Order of the Palmetto is the highest honor that the governor can bestow upon a citizen, but the highest honor that can be bestowed is governor. And I thank you for that very high honor. Oh, I got a lot to say. First question, speaking of songs, Mr. Gant, Bob Dylan once said, "How does it feel?" Well, I ask you, how does this feel? Feels good. And that reminds me of another line from another song by really a philosopher, but his name's Tim McGraw, actually. He's a country western singer. And he famously said, "I like it, I love it, I want some more of it." That's what we want. There's a story about the fella. He was lying in the bed in his mama's house. She went back there and said, "Son, get up, you got to go to church." He said, "I don't want to go." She says, "Son, you get up and go to church." He said, "I don't want to go, and I give you 2 reasons why." She says, "Why is that?" He says, "Number 1, I don't like them, and number 2, they don't like me." She said, "Well, I'll give you 2 reasons, boy, why you got to go." She said, "What's that, Mama?" He says, "Number 1, you're 39 years old. Number 2, you're the preacher. Now get up and go to work." Well, I don't need to tell you that South Carolina State University has already gotten up and gone to work. And it's happening every day. It's going to keep on happening, and I'll tell you why. As has been mentioned, it's because of the people. You start hearing more and more about the people of South Carolina. And speaking of people, Harry Lightsey was introduced, but Ashley Tisdale, the brains of the outfit, was not. Would you please stand up, Ashley, and take a bow? But it's all about the people, and reading Walter Edgar's book, which I recommend to you, and I always tell the young people to read that. They say, "I don't like history." I say, if you don't like history, you don't like life. Because that what is it but a record of life? What has worked and what hadn't worked and why, and how can we do better and all of that. But in his book, he explains where we all come from. Originally, when the mold was created, the culture was created of our state, which is commented on by every one of these business leaders from around the world that come and take a look at South Carolina. And it was mentioned earlier, they're deciding that this is the place they want to be. And if you look at the geography, you look at the history, you look at all of that, and you realize this is a very special place, just as this is a very special school. I believe, I remember that the more general officers graduated from this school than any other school in the country, except for the military university. So this is a special place, and it's endured, and you all know the stories. But Walter Edgar explains that. He says, he's, as you know, a professor at the University of South Carolina. I think he's retired now. But he wrote the book. And in that book, he explains about the geography, the water, the mountains, the soil, the temperature, temperate climate, our location on the Atlantic Ocean, all that. Did you know that half of the salt marshes on the East Coast are in South Carolina? They are special places. Half of those are in Beaufort County. But if you read that book, you can find yourself in there somewhere. And that is because they say that Columbus discovered America. Actually, it was discovered by the Native Americans or Indians long before Columbus got here. But I think there were something like 20 or so of those nations here when the rest of us got here. When the rest of us get here? Well, the Europeans started coming, first the Spanish, and then they claimed everything, then the French. And there are monuments down at Paris Island for where Jean Ribault was. He was the Frenchman. He finally left. Then the English started coming, with the kings granting the lands. And who came then? They had, from I think it's 8 or 9 European nations or cultures. And also from Africa came over 20, maybe 21 West African cultures represented. Now some came rich, some mostly came poor, some came for religious reasons, others came against their will, they were brought. But they all came here and they worked. Imagine coming to a land with nothing in it but you and whatever you brought with you. But over the centuries, we have endured. The Spanish couldn't do it, the French couldn't do it, but we did. This new culture, this culture called Americans, we did it. And we have been through every war, we have seen every obstacle, hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, and as I say, every war, including one that destroyed most of what you see around you today. But we endured. And at the time of the Revolutionary War, this place, Carolina, was the richest colony of them all. We were one of the original states. We are one of the original states. Our people formed the Constitution. And that is the document that has endured longer than any other in the history of the world. So this is a special place. And I heard the chairman of BMW, 2 successive ones, copying what one had said earlier in 1992 when BMW came to South Carolina. Michelin was already here. That was a big business. But then BMW came. And the word was this. They said that I would rather have your hand in mine and your word than a signed contract. That's when we started being called the handshake state. Why do we believe in a word and a handshake? Because we've been through so many tough times. You've got to depend on each other or we're not going to make it. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you today, South Carolina has made it, and everybody in this room and everybody that was in this room, those that will be in this room and rooms just like this are the ones that have made it happen. We need to be proud of our people, our culture, and our heritage. Coming down, I do what I often do when I get in the car going to do something important, and that's call my friend Jim Clyburn. He says, greetings. He's wish he could be here, but he had to be in Washington. But I'll tell you, speaking of the handshake state and working together, there was another grant that we've received, and it's called the Technology and Innovation Hub. There were 400 applications to the U.S. Department of Commerce for those grants. It's going to be money for innovation and technology. Well, 400 applications for 12 such designations. We are one of those 12. Here's how it happened. We had meetings, we had conferences, we talked, we put it together. The Department of Commerce had already started heading down the road to building more energy, more transmission, to be sure we have plenty of energy, which is, as you know, is a challenge. But we're going to make it. We'd already started down that road. So when we sent our one application in, it was to have a technology hub and innovation for power, for nuclear power, all kinds of power, and the transmission and the efficient use of that. So we sent it in, and we went to Congressman Clyburn's office. We met with Senator Graham. We met with Senator Scott, the entire delegation. We knew we were moving forward well. Well, then, we were one of 30. And then we got the phone call from Secretary Raimondo, who's the Secretary of Commerce. She wanted a little bit more information. So we knew the call was coming, so what did we do? I was in my office in Columbia in the State House. Lindsay was in his office in Washington, and Congressman Clyburn was in his office in Washington. And we were on the phone talking to Secretary Raimondo, who'd been the governor of Rhode Island. And we got to talking, and we explained it how we in South Carolina were ready. We had the talent, we had the vision, and we were going to make it work, and we wanted to be one of those 12 in the United States. And we talked, and we argued, and I left out Secretary Were you up there and watching with us, Ashley? Well, you should have been. But we laid out the case, and as we got towards the end of the conversation, as usual, Senator Graham started cutting up, and you know how he does, and we all started giggling and laughing. And the secretary says, gentlemen, says, we'll be back in touch with you, but I got to say, ever since I've been in this office, she'd been there this was the Biden administration, she'd been there for several years, she says, this is the first bipartisan conversation I have had since I've been in this office. To which we said, well, that's how we do it in South Carolina. We've been together since 1670. So I think that's about all I want to say, except congratulations. We're going to keep this going. This institution is superior in many different ways at many different levels. But as long as we work together, if we communicate, collaborate, and cooperate, there's no end to what we can do. There's a story of a young lawyer who went in to see Supreme Court Justice Holmes. And he said, Mr. Justice, I'm a young lawyer. I've just gotten out. There are lawyers all over the place, wall to wall, in places where I want to go. I just don't think I can make it. I don't think I can get anywhere. And the justice says, son, there's always plenty of room at the top. So that's where we need to aim. I'd rather aim high and fail than aim low and succeed. And I promise you, we go aim high and we are going to win. And the very, very last thing, I'm reminded of the old song. Maybe I see some folks got some gray hair, some white hair, some got no hair, but I know there's some that remember. It was Sam Cooke a long time ago in the singing in the 60s. He says, it's been a long time coming, but change is going to come. And it's coming right here, and it's coming because of this university. Thank you.
So now, while we've sat back down, let's give Governor McMaster another round of applause. So as you all can see, this is a great day at this historic institution, and this would not be possible with everyone contributing and participating. So our faculty, our staff, our students, our administration, everybody pulled us together to make sure this happened. And this is another step on the step to where Governor McMaster just said we're going to be, which is super, super success. So with that, that ends this press conference. I ask Governor McMaster and President Collins to come over to have some comments and some questions from the press. Everyone else, we have a reception outside for you. And if you got a special notice from us, our luncheon will be in the President's stateroom, starting at 11:30. So we have 45 minutes to talk and kind of move up to the stateroom. So with that, thank y'all again for coming out. And the great South Carolina State is not done. Thank y'all.